For years, I've been a huge fan of Deus Ex games, and I was obsessed with Adam Jensen in particular. One of the catchphrases that was very infamous about him was the phrase, "I never asked for this." The community caught this phrase, and this phrase became very heavily associated with Adam Jensen, and I wanted to delve deeper why, when the person says, "I never asked for this," it might mean deeper things that you can originally think of. On the surface, this phrase sounds very simple. It's very obvious, like, yeah, I never asked for this, but it happened, like I coped with this, suckers, and let's just move on and continue to live our life. But when you do a lot of healing work, this phrase can sound much deeper than you expect it to be, because you realize that in order to heal from something very traumatic, there is this period where you have resistance to it. You basically resist. You don't realize how the thing can just occur in your reality. You defined yourself to be a certain way, and when this event happened, it basically challenged your perception of reality, and it challenged your perception of you yourself, your personality. And so every trauma puts your personality under question. In order to heal, you have to fully accept what has happened to you, like every detail of it. No matter how terrible and awful and soul-crushing that experience was, you have to accept that in order to really truly heal and really move on with your life. In order to do that, in order to accept the fact that this terrible event happened, you have to accept that you are not the thing that you thought you are. I'll give you the simple example. You thought that you are kind and compassionate, for example, but you have a 3-year-old, and this 3-year-old has a complete meltdown, and you don't have the capacity to fully deal with that, and you scream at that kid, or do something worse than that. In that moment of crisis, you behave the way that you are not, but you defined yourself differently. You defined yourself to be a compassionate and kind parent, but at that crisis point, you behave differently. You behaved as the thing that you are not. And so, in order to heal this traumatic event and, explain the kid what has happened, you have to fully take the responsibility for the thing that you are not. You have to accept that, yes, you are a kind parent and responsible parent, but that you sometimes have meltdowns and you can't cope with your child. You have to accept that. You have to accept the thing that you haven't defined about yourself previously, but now you define that. It wasn't part of your reality, but now you're making it a part of your reality and choosing something different. You're choosing not to be that way anymore. Through accepting something that you are not, you are able to define more of who you truly are and act accordingly, despite the fact that this trauma, in all the cases, leave you in some way, shape or form disabled. In order to really go through this period of "I never asked for this" and really continue to live your life and possibly thriving and not just surviving, you have to accept that "I never asked for this, but I am this." But still, I can make this conscious choice to define myself through the experience that was unwanted and make something out of it, something positive and something wanted.